When you look at your three children,
Mhm.
how do you feel when you see them today? What are your thoughts whenever you think about your children?
Well, one of the things that I see about my children, you are three children, three different children with three different ideas,
Yes, for sure.
and some strong-willed, and some kind of laid back a little bit. And
Hmm.
I do think that, but in all decisions that you have made, no matter even if I refuse to accept or disagree with you guys, I have to come back and say, you know what, we're gonna have to support you. Because I mean, this is what she wants to do, that decision he wants to take. For example, when my son came, he was supposed to go to med school, and all of a sudden he changed his mind, you know, that he doesn't think it's meant for him. After he had gone through all this, everybody's thinking about bilingual doctor, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, he comes home and tells us, after taking his MCAT, I changed my mind. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, you know
what,
what?
what will I tell my, I mean, and it was so hard at that time for us to watch him change his mind.
Mhm.
And then to add to that, oh, I want to be an actor. I'm like, oh no, that's another one again after some years. And, you know, he went through education a little bit, but then he said, no, that's not for me. I want to be an actor instead. So it's like day and night, you know, have
Mhm.
shooting, getting an agent and being serious about it and all
Mhm.
that. Today he lives in LA, and you know, I wish him the best, and I know he will do very well. You know,
The actors industry is totally, I mean, yes,
it's
from the
hard.
medical industry is not the same,
That's what I'm
you know.
saying.
And so like even thinking about Brad sometimes, because I remember just his transition. And I remember when he
Hmm.
first told me, like, hey, I'm not going to medical school. And I was just like, okay, did you tell your parents? That's the first question I asked him. And he was like, I'll tell them at my own time. And he went and made his moves. But I want you to know too, that as much as it was hard for you guys to hear, it was hard for him. It
I
was
know.
very, very hard for him. Because if there's one thing that I know about first gen kids, um, we know that we have a hard time communicating with our parents. However, we don't like to let you guys down. That guilt and that fear of letting you guys down, especially when we don't mean to. It's not purposely, but the reaction and I think the response makes us feel as though we've let you down. And
Mm.
sometimes, and if you guys would just kind of take a just kind of breathe a little bit, and just like, and I know it's easier said than done.
Oh,
You're
well,
seeing it from a parent's lens,
that's
but
right.
I think that if you guys would just understand that, it's not in vain, because in the midst of him telling you an actor was just a little bit, just
I
like
know.
me just even voicing and messaging you like, hey, I'm no longer going back to corporate America. That right there was just a smidgen. It's the work.
It
It's
comes with
the
it.
work that actually comes with it that we don't share with you guys a lot of times, because we too are trying to figure it out. Not just you are trying to figure it out.
Mm.
So I think it's interesting because three of us are very different.
Very, very much.
And as I'm getting older, as three of us are getting older, I'm realizing that one of the main things that we share in common is our last names.
That's
That's
right.
probably about it, because
Hey,
we are realizing that we are really
three different people.
three different people with three different mindsets.
That's right.
And some are a bit more, like you said, laid back.
Hmm.
And even though, they're laid back, does
They are
not
still.
mean that they're not in the behind closed doors sacrificing and doing all the things that they need to do.
Oh yeah.